All right, we are interrupting our program to take you live to the Lebanese capital, Beirut, where we are going to hear from the Lebanese Health Minister, Firass Abiad. This, of course, follows the attacks that took place on Friday in the Lebanese capital. We've got at least 16 people have been killed in 2 residential buildings that were destroyed in the Dahia suburb of Beirut. We believe that 2 Hezbollah commanders, including a senior military commander, is among the 16 people killed in the latest Israeli strikes on the Lebanese capital. These follow deadly explosions that took place in Lebanon on Tuesday and Wednesday, which have injured more than 3,500 people, many of them civilians, and around 35 people killed in those explosions. Let's listen in to the Lebanese health minister.
And I'd like to start this prayer by asking Allah Almighty to bestow His mercy on the martyrs, and we wish the wounded people quick recovery. Before commenting on the numbers of the martyrs and the wounded people, I'd like to remind you of what has been said yesterday by the Lebanese foreign minister in the Security Council regarding the war crime being committed in Lebanon through the aggression that happened yesterday, and a building was leveled and civilians were there. As said by His Excellency the Foreign Minister, first of all, there is the international law and we have a principle of protection. Protection means to protect the civilians, and according to the Article 48 of the international law. And also the other principle in the international law regarding the precaution. Precaution means any party must be aware fully and take all the precautions in order to protect the civilians within the dispute. Also, there's another principle mentioned by the Lebanese foreign minister, which is part and parcel of the international law, which is distinction, which means that any party must differentiate between civilians and the combatant in any action. And without these 3 items, then the aggressor is violating the international law. We know the nature of the Israeli entity and the crimes of the Israeli entity, but this is quite important to remind everyone of these principles, because the civilians in any disputes must be protected. Regarding the aggression of yesterday in the southern suburb of Beirut, everyone knows that the medical teams, civil defense units were working since the attack all the night until the time being. We are removing the rubble because we cannot until now recover all the martyrs and the wounded people. I'd like Dr. Mali Hamia regarding his orders in order to have the proper equipment to do the work of the rescue teams. 31 martyrs, including 3 children, 6 years, 4 years, and 10 years, have lost their lives. 7 women as well have lost their lives. The martyrs, they include 3 Syrians, and a lot of remaining was there. Regarding the wounded, 68 wounded people have been transferred to 12 hospitals, including 53 who already left to their houses. 15 wounded people are still in these hospitals. 2 of them are in critical situation. Once again, we would like to thank the hospitals that, despite they are full of wounded people and patients, they have managed to receive those injured and to react quickly. We also thank the medical teams, the rescue teams who have done a lot of efforts yesterday and today. Regarding the aggressions, the pages aggression and the walkie-talkie aggression, I'd like to say that the first day, 12 people have lost their lives. On the second day, 2 more martyrs. So the number moved to 27 martyrs. And the total number on Tuesday, Wednesday, and yesterday are 70 martyrs. Regarding the wounded people, those who are still in the hospitals for more treatment on Thursday and on the Tuesday and Wednesday, 177 wounded are still there in the hospitals. There are the sick people who are in the intensive care units, 152 wounded, and until now in our hospitals, 2,078 surgeries have been done. The medical teams are still working hard for the sake of those wounded people. I'd like to add that there is a cooperation between the Ministry of Health, the Doctors Syndicate, and there will be specialized clinics for those who left the hospitals to their houses to follow up in these clinics. There will be also mobile teams to help the people and to help the wounded. Also, there will be a specialized clinic regarding the severe injuries in order to follow up the full treatment of those people. Finally, I'd like to add that what is going on, the aggressions against the civilians indiscriminately, is a war crime, and it was clear. The officials at the United Nations, particularly the humanitarian people in the United Nations, have mentioned something like that. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone, every team, every worker for their efforts during these very difficult days. If you have any questions, I'm ready. We put this into consideration, and we have done so many things, including the evacuation of some hospitals, and we have certain procedures in order to help the hospitals that received more wounded people, and we will do whatever it takes in order to help our people and to help the wounded. And if more aggressions, then we need to be more ready. We know that the residential building was leveled. The aggression has destroyed that building on those inside, and we will continue our medical efforts, and hopefully everything will go fine. There are so many challenges facing the healthcare system in Lebanon. Is there any cooperation between you and other parties? We all know that Egypt was always and is and will be always helping Lebanon. Dr. Harab Abdel Ghaffar, the Egyptian health minister, talked to me, and he offered all the services that he can offer, medicines or evacuations or medical equipment, and we are preparing things, and on Monday there will be more contacts with the other sisterly countries in order to know how can we organize the help from different countries. We have our stores, we have our plans, and we have medicines that can be enough for 4 months. The aggressions of the Israelis that are targeting the civilians increase the number of the wounded people in a massive way. We need to increase our stores, and there will be a role to be played by our friends and our brothers to make us more able to cover every point. Regarding the pages and walkie-talkies explosions, how did these explosions affect the Ministry of Health? Is the Ministry of Health ready to cover every single angle of this? It is an unprecedented attack in history like this, and of course we have seen that. The pages are everywhere, in markets, in offices, in hospitals, in the streets. That's why we can understand the big impact. In addition to that, there are so many pages distributed here and there, and this has resulted in a big number of casualties. We have a plan for the mass casualties, and we have trained the hospitals since the start of the aggression against Gaza. We have seen the good reaction of our hospitals and our medical teams, and to how they successfully received these big numbers of wounded people. This was a big channel, but we were able to face the problem. The war against Lebanon is ongoing, and the question is, how can we prepare ourselves more in case the aggressions are expanded? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.